Hey, 6th grade. In our last video, we got started on the order of operations, which we were learning all about. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So in this video, we are going to be working on the please excuse part, which means we are going to be working on parentheses and exponents. So we're going to start with exponents, which as we learned in the last video, the definition of exponents, it means that the exponent tells you how many times to multiply the base. But since we haven't really done anything with exponents, what does that mean? Well, let's say we have a 3. There's a fantastic 3. And this 3 has an exponent of 4. So we have 3 to the 4th power. Basically, all it means is you multiply 3 times itself 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 is the base. This little number up here, the exponent, which in this case it's a 4, the exponent tells you how many times you multiply the base times itself. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 4s, and that equals 3 to the 4th power. Nothing too crazy. Then let's try another one. This time we'll just use a 2. Let's say, what in the world is that down there? Let's say we have 2 to the 5th power. So all we have to do is multiply 2 by its, since it's the base, we have to multiply 2 times itself 5 times. So we'd have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And it's not a bad idea to go back and count and make sure you're multiplying the base times itself as many times as you're supposed to. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that equals 2 to the 5th power. So we're going to go ahead and evaluate a couple of numerical expressions, but you always want to be keeping, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, in the back of your mind, just to make sure that you're doing the operations in the correct order. So we haven't covered parentheses just yet, so we're going to leave that one be. But we have 4 times 7 squared, or 7 to the 2nd power. So we will start with the exponent. Well, 7 squared means 7 times 7, which equals 49. Then we move on to the multiplying or dividing. And what is it that we start with? We've got multiplying first, because we still have 4 times 49. So we multiply those two together, and we wind up with 196. And all because we followed our order of operations. Okay, we're going to do another one. So we will do 12 plus 8 squared, or 8 to the 2nd power. So we have to start with the exponent. We have to start with the excuse part. So 8 to the 2nd power means we multiply 8 times itself 2 times. That equals 64. So we have 12 plus 64 is going to equal something or another. Well, when we come back up here, we take a look and we see that we have nothing to multiply. We do not have anything to divide. So now it looks like we have some adding to do, because that's next in line. So we add 12 plus 64, that equals 76. Now, and make sure you're getting all that in your notes, by the way, guys. All right, now it is time for us to add the parentheses part of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, because parentheses are going to be pretty important as well. So as we learned in the vocabulary of our last video, parentheses are symbols that are used to group numbers and operations, and they can be used to change the normal order in which you perform your operations. So since parentheses is the first step in our order of operations, we're going to try solving a couple of these little numerical expressions that include parentheses. So let's say we have 3 plus 5 inside the parentheses, and then it's squared. There's an exponent on the outside. No matter what, you are going to start with the work in the parentheses. Even though you're adding in this case, you are still going to start with the parentheses. So 3 plus 5 equals 8. The next step is exponents. So it still has a 2 on the outside, so that turns into 8 times 8, which equals 64. All right, let's try another one. We have 12 plus, here we go with the parentheses, 25 divided by 5 squared, or to the second power. All right, so we have to start with the parentheses. No matter what's going on inside of the parentheses, you're going to start there. So 25 divided by 5, that equals 5. Keep that inside of the parentheses. Make sure you put the exponent back up there. Bring down your 12. 12 plus 5 squared. So 5 squared means we just multiply 5 times itself 2 times. 5 times 5 equals 25. So 12 plus 25. All right, so we've done our exponents. And now we don't have anything to multiply. We don't have anything to divide. We do, however, have some adding to do. So 12 plus 25 equals 37. Boom. Simple as that. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of problems to do in your binders, and you will bring those to class with you tomorrow. Now remember, if you're not getting the hang of this, you can watch our video again. You can also look up other videos or other information on Google and YouTube, because there might be something better out there for you. So remember to use "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally" while you are solving these. Remember to start with your parentheses, then next you do exponents, then you move on to multiply or divide, and you move left to right just like you do when you're reading a book. And after the multiplying and dividing, you add or subtract, still moving left to right. So here's the first of your 2 problems. You have 10 divided by parenthesis 5 minus 3 plus 2 squared. There's a lot in that one. All right, and your second one, you have your parenthesis, 12 squared minus 48 divided by 2. That's going to equal something or another, but you're going to have to solve your problems to find out. So I'll see y'all in class.